We start off today's journey east of Phoenix on the Apache Trail, a road that connected Apache Junction to Roosevelt Lake, Arizona. This was also a known migratory route used by the Native Americans over 1,000 years ago, and over time, many ruins, petroglyphs, and native tools have been found throughout the area. I will be sending my drone in for a closer look at some areas of interest on these cliffs, and down into many ravines to see if we can uncover any signs of the ancient people that once roamed through the area. This rock formation has always been one to catch my eye whenever I've made the journey out here. The little crevice at the top has always piqued my interest, so I figured this would be a great place to start. After scanning the area for a few minutes and not finding anything of interest other than a beautiful desert landscape and blue skies, I made my way further up the road to an area on the Apache Trail that tends to see a little more water flow throughout the year. Throughout history, the proximity of water has proven to be a major factor when it comes to settlement, so I figured as long as we follow the water, that should yield some results. As we continue on with our journey, it's important to remember that not every little cave, crevice, or alcove is a direct indicator of settlement from the natives. But after living in Arizona for the past 5 years and taking this road a few dozen times, my imagination tends to get the best of me, leaving me wondering what exactly is out there? What's on top of these cliffs? What's in them? And what are we missing by not taking a closer look? Having a drone certainly allows us the opportunity to cover more ground at a much quicker pace and brings our eyes into parts of the desert that would typically take us days, if not weeks, to cover by foot. Now, I've reviewed this footage many times throughout the editing process, but there's been a handful of times where I've looked back on clips and noticed something that I didn't see the first time around, which then prompts a second trip to further investigate. That being said, if you see anything interesting that I may have missed, please let me know in the comment section. Just made another stop. There's an area of interest over here that I wanted to check out. But if we turn the camera around and look up here, right in the center of the camera, you see that little dark spot, that little slit in the side of the mountain right there?
Areas like that I always see, I always question because from down here they look so small and you probably wouldn't even notice them. But by the time you got up there, that could be as far as that little slit in the rock could be maybe, I don't know, 10 feet high. Let's check it out.
I continued to search the area for another hour or so, and every time I thought I found something of interest, it ended up being another empty alcove or natural formation created by Mother Nature. The desert is full of so many hidden wonders, and although we haven't found what we were looking for just yet, it's still a real treat to get off the beaten path and glance at the landscapes not visible from the road. Seeing these geological formations is a great reminder of how powerful of a force water can be. From the Grand Canyon all the way down to the area we are exploring, over millions of years, water has carved out some of the most beautiful landscapes that we get to feast our eyes on today. And in fact, millions of years ago, Arizona was once underneath a shallow sea, and marine fossils are still found all throughout the state, especially at the Grand Canyon. Some time ago, the tooth of a rootodon was discovered in northern Arizona. Rootodons existed some 200 million years ago, and although they might slightly resemble crocodiles and appear as if they are in the crocodile family, there is no relation. There's the thing you know. After turning up nothing interesting here, I decided to head to a part of Arizona I used to hike at, and on these hikes, people would occasionally ask me if I made it to the old stone walls. I never made it to them, and I had no idea what the heck they were talking about, but after a couple of tacos, Diet Coke, and a Google search later, I had a pretty good idea of where they were. Let's go in for a closer look.
I was walking and I saw something that didn't quite look right. Looks like an old guitar case. What I'm gonna do before I walk by it is throw a rock on it because that is prime rattlesnake territory. They love to hide under boards, rocks, trees, and guitar cases because they provide shade. So I'm gonna throw a rock on it. If we don't hear a rattle, we'll open it. All right, moment of truth. If there was a rattler, he would have been like, what the heck? So let's see what we got. Please don't anything jump out and bite me. Wow, that was a little anticlimactic. Looks like it would have been an old guitar case. Would have been nice if there was like a Les Paul Gibson in there, but the probability of that happening way the F out here, not likely. Can you imagine putting this together one by one? Some of these smaller rocks that you kind of see toward the top, that really wouldn't have been a big issue. But some of these bigger rocks that you have on the bottom, that would take a while to haul those around. I got my drone up in the air, I think it was late evening yesterday, and there is some more out there. And I guess there's another stone corral or stone cabin or something, supposedly across the highway in the desert there. So if we can find that one, well, we'll try to explore it.
The story goes, these stone walls date back to the late early 1900s and were built by cowboys to help separate their pastures. They used rocks because, one, they were free, and two, there were plenty of them. I had no idea what these little stone walls were at first, but seeing as how the soil around them was still moist, I was able to find out that these were referred to as check dams. Check dams help to slow the flow of water, prevent erosion, and made the water linger longer in the soil, which also helped to grow more vegetation.
I would bet anything those ruins are either somewhere over there or somewhere back there. Those little alcoves provide just enough cover from the sun and rain. I'd bet my last paycheck on it. I love making YouTube videos, and I love hiking, and I love being outdoors. But I think just about any hiker in the Southwest agrees that once June comes around, it really starts to suck. But that's not gonna stop us. It's not even that long of a hike either. Whoa, check that out. How cool is that? Check out that wall. We still got mud in between the rocks. And I bet this wall went all the way around, and it was just big enough for a little doorway there. That is so cool. She said there was petroglyphs out here too. She didn't say how many, but if we look right here, you can see one, and then maybe another little one there too. And then maybe a red petroglyph there. We're gonna keep our eyes peeled and see what else we can find on these rocks.
I continued to canvass the area in search of any additional ruins or petroglyphs that I may have missed, and then out of nowhere, I started to get this feeling that I was being watched. Turns out, I was right.
If you look very carefully in the center, you can see an owl keeping an eye on me. I saw an owl fly out of there just like maybe 30 seconds ago, and then I heard some flapping. He is keeping an eye on me. It's almost kind of creepy.
The sun was beginning to set, and I wanted to send my drone up in the sky one last time to get a better view of the area. I began to think to myself, could it be possible that this may be just an isolated set of ruins, or could there be more out there? I flew my drone east about a quarter mile, and I discovered a small canyon. And call me crazy, but I think there's a high probability that there's much more out here. This is definitely the type of land that would support settlement. And I think on another day, later in the future, hopefully when it's not so frickin' hot out, we'll have to come back to this area and see what else we can find.